A report came out early yesterday that the Seattle Mariners and Boston Red Sox had some discussions about the Mariners starting pitching, and the Mariners basically told the Red Sox no. What does that mean for the Seattle Mariners offseason? Who could have been involved in this deal, and why in the world are the Mariners just being so stingy with their starting pitching? Let's talk about that in this video. But first, we got to take a look at the article that came out from the Boston Globe and how it translated over to MLB trade rumors. So Spire of the Boston Globe reports that the Red Sox approached the Mariners about their controllable starting pitchers, but were generally rebuffed. Whether that was due to the quality of their offer or lack thereof, or simply due to the Mariners being unwilling to move someone from the George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu quartet isn't clear. So before I even get any further in this video, let's just make one thing crystal clear. Rafael Devers wasn't on the table. Okay? He wasn't on the table. It would have cost you George Kirby plus. So let's just get that out there right now. And it just doesn't make sense for the Mariners to take on Devers because of his contract and everything we've heard about the Mariners payroll right now. It doesn't make sense. Devers would not have made sense, and the Mariners would have had to give up Kirby plus. So no, Rafael Devers, not a thing. And honestly, if the Seattle Mariners give up George Kirby, they're idiots. Like, you have to be getting back the world for George Kirby in any deal. Not doesn't even have to be the Red Sox deal. Any deal, you have to get the world back for George Kirby. It just doesn't make sense. Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, and Brian Wu, however, yeah, those deals do make a little bit more sense in my opinion. Again, I'm still not in love with the idea of trading Logan Gilbert, but Bryce Miller or Brian Wu should still theoretically bring you back some pretty good players. With that being said, we've heard that the Mariners are not willing to trade those young controllable starting pitchers. However, they are in the right context. Jerry Dipoto suggested at last week's winter meetings that a trade of one of their young big league starters doesn't seem likely. Dipoto acknowledged constant inquiries regarding his young rotation before casting doubt on whether he'd actually make a move involving anyone from the bunch. "We'll see what the market bears," said Dipoto. "We are going to lean into the thing we do well, and if the opportunity presents itself, we have to listen. But by and large, we pitch it, we catch it. We're very good at developing young players, and we're going to continue to focus on those things." Now, this is something that we've heard a lot from Jerry Dipoto with his time with the Mariners. The Mariners are good at pitching, and they have an athletic team that is relatively good defensively. However, the offense is always what has been lacking for the Seattle Mariners, so I understand why they want to keep together their core pitching staff that is one of the best in the league. With that being said, this team offensively, it is not competitive right now. It's not. It just plain and simple is not. If we have a repeat year from Ty France, then you're screwed. If Luis Urias doesn't go back to 2021 Luis Urias, you're screwed. If Josh Rojas doesn't take the next step over at second base, you're screwed. And then, I don't know, Cade Marlowe and Dominic Canzone in the outfield, you're screwed. And what Dipoto said about, we are going to stick with what we're good at, it just goes to show that they're being handcuffed by ownership right now. What Dipoto's saying is what they're good at is pitching and defense. And that's true, because that's what the team already has. They're not good offensively. We all know that. Dipoto knows that. And he says we're very good at developing young players, and we are going to continue to focus on those things. Which just kind of goes to show, hey, maybe we're not going to go out there and sign a player who's already been developed, who can help this team immediately. Now, this article goes on to say, on the one hand, the Mariners and Red Sox seem like natural trade partners, which honestly, I don't really agree with. And then it says the Mariners are deep in controllable pitching, and the Red Sox have several promising controllable hitters who have made their big league debuts already. Tristan Casas, Jarren Duran, and Kadane Rafael, or however the heck you say his name, Sedane? That guy. And in some cases, had a good bit of success. I still feel like the Mariners match up better with the Reds, a team that has young controllable hitters but have seen more success than this group. Jarren Duran is one that interests me the most. You'd probably have to trade Logan Gilbert for Jarren Duran, and I don't love that idea. I think that you could probably go get a comparable player from the Reds or the Rays for Bryce Miller or Brian Wu, and I don't think you have to pay as much of a premium for those guys. With that being said, Jarren Duran is very good, and if I remember correctly, he's from the Seattle area. I should probably look that up before I just put it in a video. Yeah, he's not. So what does this mean for the Mariners and the rest of this offseason? I don't know. Do you? It just goes to show that this offseason makes no sense as a Mariners fan. Nothing that we are seeing as Mariners fans right now makes any sort of sense. You need to trade one of Bryce Miller or Brian Wu, or give up a really good young prospect-laden package to make this team better right now. Your outfield is terrible. You have Julio Rodriguez, and that's it. Dom Canzone, unproven. Could be good, but I see him more as a platoon. Cade Marlowe strikes out just as much as Teoscar Hernandez or Eugenio Suarez. This team sucks right now. And the fact that the Mariners are, again, like we heard here with the Red Sox, not willing to trade one of their young pitchers. And we don't know the offer, to be fair. We don't know the offer the Red Sox laid out for the Mariners. So, and will we ever know it? Probably not. But the fact of the matter is that they basically were just like, nah, we're not trading one of our young pitchers, instead of trying to work through the deal, is pretty disheartening in my opinion. Again, I don't love the Red Sox as a trade partner, but I don't know. Who else on that team other than Jarren Duran, Tristan Cassis, etc.? I don't know. I think like Bobby Dalbec could make some sense as like a change of scenery kind of guy for the Mariners, who he hasn't been very good in the past, but maybe he makes sense. He can play first base, DH for you. Hey, Bobby Dalbec's the one from Seattle, by the way. I'm an idiot. But I think Dalbec can make some sense just because he can also play the outfield if you need him to. He's not going to be great. He's a right-handed hitter, power bat, but he would only be the lower end of a return for someone like Bryce Miller or Brian Wu. Dalbec hasn't been that good. He has been below league average for the last 2 years. But I think that a change of scenery could do him well, and now that the Red Sox just acquired Tyler O'Neill, maybe they'd be okay with moving on from Bobby Dalbec in the right trade package. Again, it wouldn't just be Dalbec for Bryce Miller 1-for-1. It's going to need to be more than that. And I'm not sure what the Boston Red Sox are willing to give up. Are they willing to give up, Jarren Duran in a package? I don't think they should be. But if they are, let's go out and get him. Let's just look at Duran's stats really quick, just for fun. So last year, Jarren Duran was 26 years old. He played in 102 games, hit 295, 346, 482 with a 121 OPS plus, 24 stolen bases. He struck out only 90 times. He only hit 9 home runs. He's not a huge power guy, but overall, I think he makes a lot of sense for the Seattle Mariners. He bats left-handed. He is a center fielder. Obviously, the Mariners would move him to one of the corners, and I don't know. I just like Jarren Duran a lot. I think he does fit this team, but I don't think the Red Sox are willing to trade him, and honestly, they shouldn't be. He's not a free agent until 2029. Doesn't make sense to trade Jarren Duran right now. Bobby Dalbec will be playing in his age 29 season. Again, he is from Seattle. First baseman, third baseman, throws right, bats right. He's not a free agent until 2028, so again, he's under club control for quite a while. But in 2023, he hit 204, 264, 306 with a 54 OPS plus, a long way away from his 2020, of course, the COVID season, where he played in 23 games, had a 149 OPS plus, and hit 8 home runs, hitting 263, 359, 600. He did it 25 home runs for Boston in 2021, had a 107 OPS plus, but he has really struggled replicating that throughout the rest of his career. And yeah, Bobby Dalbec strikes out a lot. I mean a lot. A career 35.9% strikeout percentage. So, I don't know. Bobby Dalbec just doesn't fit the Mariners at all. Unfortunately, at this point, I feel like that would be the return for the Mariners. But Jarren Duran would, I feel like, have to headline a package. Or it needs to be more prospect-laden, because we know right now the Mariners don't want to spend money. So maybe you bring in Jeter Downs or something. I highly doubt you bring in Jeter Downs, by the way. I'm just talking out my mouth with no idea of what could actually happen, because I don't think it's a great fit, personally. It's more the fact that the Mariners just said no, flat out, that I don't love. And of course, again, we don't know the package, and these trade talks could be revisited at some point, and, something could change. Let me know in the comments down below what you would want from the Boston Red Sox. Now, go watch this video on the screen now. It's a great one. I don't know what it is, but watch it. Appreciate you guys watching this one, and go Mariners.